He didn't come to die for your sins. Your actions has its consequences. Oh yeah, and you will reap his consequences. Oh yeah, he didn't come to die for your sins. Your actions has its consequences. Oh yeah, and you will reap his consequences. Oh yeah, he didn't come to die for your sins. Your actions has its consequences. Oh yeah, and you will reap his consequences. Oh yeah. The Lord will not forget his people. Nah. See, all of this time, you've been majority of humanity been glorifying and honoring their Lord, but not the true and living God. Nah, not the ascended master, not the one that came here to teach and demonstrate the eternal law of divine love, the one that had the doctrine to love one another as thyself, to do for others that which you would want done for yourself, to refrain from doing to others anything that you would not want done unto yourself, including the animals. Yes, taught compassion, taught kindness, mercy, empathy, justice, generosity, chastity, purity. Yes, these things, the matters of the heart condition. This what the promised anointed one came to the earth to teach and demonstrate. It's what all the prophets kept trying to convey to stiff-necked, wicked, disobedient, arrogant ass, wicked people who could not comprehend love, who literally detests love, who literally hates love. What is wrong with you people? Why are you so contrary to love? Why must you hold to all of these traditions of men keeping you from love? Real love. Real compassion. You know how you want to be treated. Why don't you treat others the same way that you yourself will want to be treated? See? This is why many people are in ignorance. Because you don't know the true and living God. You don't know the ever-presence of benevolence. Because yes, benevolence has been silent all of this time, allowing wickedness and evil to just run rampant all over the earth, corrupting all humanity and all creation. But see, it's prophecy that he would awaken his people within the land of our captivity and bring back to remembrance of who we are. And see, all my life, I've been made to feel like God don't care about me. The Lord don't care about me. Because see, I grew up in Christianity. And I saw how all the evangelical Christians, primarily the Caucasians, all right, yes, got to live lavishly, all right, yes, They're the pastors of multi-million dollar freaking congregations, all right? Estates and whatnot, all right? Yeah, these type of people. And these type of people were preaching the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord out their mouth. But they had all the riches and the wealth while I grew up in poverty, struggling. My family kind of struggled. I watched my family struggle. And then when I came of age, around 18, 19 years old, I got my first job at Mazio's Pizza. All right? And so I got accustomed to having to be at work at a certain time and work and literally earn money. All right? Yes, I've done it. Okay? I speak against it now because I am aware of where it came from. It never came from eternal benevolence. Okay? Eternal benevolence never implemented this economic system of earning money for a living. Okay, that came from the wicked. All right? So this all connects to this whole false reality that we were all born into. Okay? And we're taught, like all my life, they don't, outright say it, but it's by their actions. It's by the actions. It's by what I literally have observed, okay, and experienced throughout my life via Christianity. So-called black people are not made to feel like God loves us. Like we are made to feel like, hey, you are in the position that you in because you disobey your God. Now we are the ones that are to lead you. Okay? So the Indo-Europeans have been having this air of superiority and this air of supremacy. All right? The moral authority. Like they're the ones that's supposed to be leading us. All while they're portraying white Jesus. Okay? A Caucasian, an Indo-European white man. Alright? And that man don't love us. Clearly, we are not loved by white Jesus. We have never been loved by white Jesus. But we are loved by the ever presence of benevolence. We are loved by the promised anointed one that came through the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The one that had hair of wool and feet like brass as if it burned in a furnace. That's darker than me. The real Messiah. The real disciples, the real biblical people, the real holy people, the real chosen people of the ever presence of benevolence are not the Caucasians who've been portraying themselves all of this time to be the moral authority. No, sir, no, ma'am. As a whole, you are the worst of the heathen. You've done nothing but rape, rob, murder, plunder, pillage, kill, steal, destroy, enslave, oppress, and terrorize the indigenous people for centuries. That is not hate speech, people. That is the absolute, honest to God's truth. So, the real Lord has not forgotten his people. Okay? Only was silent for a period of time during the times of the Gentiles. Okay? Yes, the times of the Gentiles. Let me see here. Right here. Manifested destiny. Alright? See, my great-great-grandmother is American. Alright? They began changing us on the census records. Alright? Ethnicity is American. Alright? Alright? America is the true Holy Land. Okay? Christopher Columbus knew exactly where he was coming to, and he was seduced by a deceiving spirit. Alright? Though he claimed he was led by the Holy Spirit. These people don't have the Holy Spirit. Now, this is not to say that, none of you Indo-European Caucasians can, receive the Holy Spirit. But you're going to have to be able to accept the truth by way of the Spirit. You're going to have to be able to accept reproof by way of the Spirit. If you think it's hateful, us telling you how you came over here raping, robbing, murdering, plundering, pillaging, destroying, enslaving, if you think that's hateful, showing you how you got your status, your clout, your honors of men, your prosperity, and all of these things, and how we came down very low, and you are the head and we are the tail. If you think that's hateful, then there's something wrong with you, okay? Because that's not hateful. What was hateful was what you did to us, okay? We are the original people of these lands. But somehow you think it's hateful for us to tell you this truth, that you found us here. Okay? You Europeans found us here. Okay? And then you just set your asses on top of us. Alright? And you think that you have moral superiority over us. Okay? So it's time to humble yourself down several notches. Because you do not have any kind of moral superiority over the true people of the ever-presence of benevolence. You have done the most wickedness as a whole. And until you separate yourself from the whole, I am addressing you. Okay? How do you separate yourself from the whole? You need to join the side of righteousness. Because time's up trying to gaslight us and project your false ass reality upon us, acting like we're hateful because we won't join with you. You're no longer leading us. Okay? We see you for who you are. Alright? There ain't a moralistic bone in your body. Those that have established this system and those that are controlling the system, and all of you who are upholding the system. Okay? So we are no longer following you. Now it's time for you to make the choice whether or not you will follow after us. Okay? It's simple as that. And I know that I'm a nobody in the flesh. I'm a nobody. I don't claim to be great. I am simply a vessel of honor. All I can control is my actions, that which I do. I've humbled myself to the spirit of truth. I've humbled myself to the ever-presence of benevolence. I am reverent. I don't do things to others that I wouldn't want done to myself. I live what I speak. So, the true Lord will not forget his people. Surely, judgment will again be righteous, and all the upright in heart will follow it. If you are upright in heart, you would not think this is hate speech. But if you are corrupted in your heart and in your mentality, then hell yeah, you would call me hateful. You would call me racist. Oh, I'm racist because I won't let you think you're superior over me. I won't let you continue your terrorizing, your oppression over me. You're upon my ancestral land. But you want to call me hateful. You want to call me racist. It's time to examine your heart condition. Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Only someone who's actually walking in righteousness. Because how else will we be able to fight against the wicked if we were also wicked? We would know we would have the backing of the ever-presence of benevolence. Now would we? Oh no, because eternal benevolence does not protect the wicked, but certainly does the righteous. Who will stand for me against the workers of iniquity? Only one who's being obedient to the eternal law of divine love and all things good. Unless eternal benevolence has been my helper, I would have soon died. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I had to lean upon his spirit heavily. Still, even now, as that organization I told you that I was going to go try to apply to try to get some help to pay my rent because it's 3 months late. I had already initially told them that I didn't have an official eviction notice, that I had 2 non-payment notices and a final notice. And they told me to go ahead and apply on the 2nd. So I literally went up there on the 2nd, first thing in the morning, soon as they opened, 9 a.m., and trying to apply, and is asking for an eviction date and want me to upload the eviction notice, and they want it to be a 5-day eviction notice. Like, bruh, so you want me to wait till I actually have an eviction notice to vacate within 5 days before I can get an answer whether you would help or not? That's insane. I have no place to go if I was to be evicted. I have no family that would take me in. I haven't had any kind of love being shown unto me. No one seems to care whether or not I have a roof over my head. But all of this time, I've been freely giving you these oracles by way of the Spirit, feeding you this good fruit of the Spirit. I ain't charging you, but you don't think that you should care about whether or not I have a roof over my head? It's $25 per month for me to have a roof over my head. I'm not demanding a damn thing from anybody, but this is proving the lack of real love it is proving the lack of real compassion, real kindness, real mercy, real empathy, the lack of generosity is showing a, a corrupted mentality and a corrupted heart condition. That's what it's proving. Okay? Because ain't no way you're going to tell me that I'm wrong because I won't join the rat race in earning the image of the beast, which is money, so that I can pay the worst of the heathen in order to have a roof over my head in my own ancestral land. So you, like, that's literally saying I'm wrong for not allowing oppression to continue over me. Like, I'm not allowing you to continuously oppress me, forcing me to earn something that my God never even created, just to pay you wicked people for your permission to live upon my own ancestral land. Like, look, your time is up, okay? Your time's up. You can no longer strong arm the true holy people, okay? We've been awakened by way of the Spirit, and that's regardless whether or not you want to believe it, okay? So, I don't know how the rent's gonna get paid. But I trust in my God, not in the God of money. It's written on the back of that money, in God we trust. That's a different God. Just like white Jesus is a different Lord. Okay? He saw that there was no man. He was amazed that there was no one to intercede. I have been amazed. I've been thoroughly amazed. Like, I'm just like floored. Like, really? I kind of was prepared for this though, because I never really received love all my life. Okay, from my own named family. Um, I was demonized and scorned, ridiculed for not having the type of heart um, to be ambitious for money and materialistic things, building a successful life for myself upon the earth. Okay, I was more so seeking answers. All right, so that prepared me for what I'm here to do now. Okay, it prepared me for the world to shut up their bowels of compassion unto me. All right, because I experienced it throughout my entire life. All right, it's not something that's new to me. Hell, when me and my brother were kids, we were like preteens or young teens. He ordered pizza one day and completely refused to share any of it. Pizza, wings, soda, did not share none of it. But I was the one that got in trouble. Like, so, all my life, I'm seeing how those who have selfish, stingy hearts are glorified and honored and, treated with respect, and, they're treated as morally superior than, the generous heart. Okay, the generous heart, the free spirit, the one that allows everybody to be who they are. But the one that's dictating and domineering, conformed easily, to the status quo, they're glorified and honored. Like, is this that prepared me for this, okay? Because I experienced this all of my life and it confused the hell out of me. I never understood why I'm always being demonized, my heart condition was in the right place. Okay? Their heart condition was not in the right place. Okay? Their heart condition was selfish. Okay? Like, I am the complete opposite of selfish. I am selfless. Okay? I am the type that will sacrifice myself. Okay? Than to sacrifice others. All right? See, this world is basically imposing, is every man for himself. So you better get yours and screw the next man. So you basically sacrificing others for your own selfish gain. Okay? This system was imposed. Okay, so that's what it imposed upon people. And people are complacent with that. So that they can sustain their carnal flesh upon the earth. Okay, but I am not that way. I can't do that. Okay, I'm contrary to that. So I spend all my time, energy, and effort giving you spiritual clarity and understanding so that you have an opportunity to humble yourself, repent, and cleave unto the living witnesses. Because this is why we were seated here in the first place. All right, so yes, he's seeing how there has been no man. He's amazed how there has been no one to intercede. So his own arm is going to bring salvation. All right? And his own righteousness. Okay? Our righteousness sustain us because we know that we can trust in eternal benevolence to bring about his salvation unto us. Okay? Is the righteousness that gives us this bold faith. Okay? The fact that I speak the way I do, you want to equate it to arrogance. No, sir, no, ma'am. It's the authority of the Spirit. It's the authority of the Spirit. And I have this authority because of my obedience. I searched for a man among them to repair the wall and stand in a gap before me on behalf of the land, so that I should not allow it to be destroyed. But I found no one. See, eternal benevolence wants to protect. Wants us to be obedient so that no evil will ever come upon us. But because eternal benevolence is all good, allowing the choice, many choose to be evil. Especially during a time frame of the worst of the heathen, where the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, and they are imposing their wicked ass system that people are choosing to be complacent with. Okay, and so because you're complacent, you end up doing evil. Okay, and you're doing evil to the very few of us who he is using to speak the eternal living word by the way of the Spirit. What the hell, bro? He guards the steps of his faithful ones, but the wicked perish in darkness. For by his own strength shall no man prevail. Okay? By your own strength, you're not going to prevail. He who saves his life shall lose it. Okay? And he that loses his life for the sake of the pure gospel will have his life saved. Will have eternal life. Okay? You're working your jobs to no avail, people. It ain't profiting you. It ain't really profiting you to earn money for a living. It's only profiting your physical mortal body. But is your physical mortal body eternal? When you leave your physical mortal body, you're still alive in spirit, in your soul, your conscience. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So you want to hate the real workers, the real servants of eternal benevolence. Like you want to stamp us out and force us to live a superficial life, sustaining our carnal flesh upon the earth. Deflecting away from your selfish heart condition, because this is why you do it. You do it so that you don't have to look into your heart and or change your mentality. Therefore, you shame us and you call us lazy. You want to call me lazy because I won't pine after the image of the beast, which is money? That's your choice. Go ahead. I agree with you. Hell yeah. I'm lazy as hell on Satan, okay? That ain't my God. Alright? That ain't my God. But I ain't lazy on my God. On my God, I put in all my time, energy, and effort flowing by way of the Spirit. You're just proving who your God is when you call me lazy. Because I won't work for the reward of money. Money is your God, not mine. Quit trying to impose your God on me. Okay? Will not my God bring about justice for his elect who cry out to him day and night? Do you think he's going to delay much longer in helping us? I tell you, he will promptly carry out justice on our behalf. And he's asking, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? The only ones that can really have faith. See, this connects. Let me get this right quick. Yeah, you can't please him without faith. You cannot please the true and living God without faith. Come on now. I'm working on a laggy ass PC that barely wants to work, but I'm giving you this spiritual work. It is impossible to please the true and living God without faith. Hebrews 11:6. Essential for drawing near to God. Those who come to God must know that he exists. The faith of Abel, Enoch, and Noah. Let's see, bruh. Oh man, you gotta understand who compiled our records too. The worst of the heathen compiled this Bible. Let's see. Delight yourself in eternal benevolence, and he will give you the desires of your heart. You delight yourself in eternal benevolence by your obedience, by your humility and your obedience. Trust in eternal benevolence. Not trust in God we trust, that's engraved on the back of your money. Trust in eternal benevolence with all of your heart. And lean not to your own understanding. Many people are leaning to their own understanding, and that is the carnal understanding. That's the carnal, logical mind. Hey, if I don't have this money, then I'm going to be homeless. If I don't have this money, then I'm going to be I ain't gonna be able to eat. I ain't gonna be able to do anything. I'm not gonna be able to sustain my life. Okay, but they're only considering their physical life. All right, there's life outside of the physical body. There's life outside of this mortality. And there's life outside of this false ass reality that we were all born in. Okay? Because you're not comprehending who established this wicked ass system. All right? So your understanding is that of the wisdom of this world. All right? Clearly, this is in the Bible. Proverbs 3:5-6. You're not trusting in eternal benevolence with all of your heart. No, you're trusting in God we trust. All right, and you want to scorn me for trusting in eternal benevolence with all of my heart, not leaning to my own understanding, seeing that I'm 3 months behind on paying this rent because I don't have money. Okay? It's not easy not knowing how the hell the rent is going to get paid, or not knowing, what's to become of me. Okay? In all your ways acknowledge him. Have I not been acknowledging eternal benevolence all of this time? And he will make your path straight. Okay? Yeah, eventually I'm going to be able to soar in my spiritual mission, unhindered by this financial system. Mark 11:22. Have faith in eternal benevolence. The Messiah said to them, truly I tell you that if anyone says to this mountain, this financial mountain, all right, this economic system that's imposing me to have money, forcing me to have money in order to live my life in my own ancestral land, okay, that's a mountain. That's a mountain that needs to be moved out of my way. All right? Truly I tell you that if anyone says to this mountain, be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and has no doubt in his heart, but believes that it will happen, knows that it will happen, it will be done for him. Okay? And I'm going to prove how this is all connected to biblical prophecy. Yes, it is. All right? Yes, it is. It is time for the indigenous people, who are also the holy people, the covenant people. It is time for us to be free financially. Okay? No longer being forced to earn money for a living. Okay? No, sir, no, ma'am. It's time for the wealth of the nations to come to us. Okay? Now it's time for you to bring all our wealth back to us. Okay? That's if you're righteous. If you're righteous, you will do the right thing. And if you're not righteous, then you're going to reap the destruction that's coming. Okay? Therefore I tell you, whatsoever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. All right? It's not instantaneous. Okay? Because we got to go through all the trials, tribulation, and fire, and adversity, persecution, and all of these things. See, he told you that his real servants suffer with him. Okay, those who are his real servants, we will suffer with him. See if we can find it. The suffering servant. All right. See? And he said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow. Okay? All those who are truly of the Messiah, we are unresisting. We don't take up man-made mortal weapons. Okay? We don't fight to preserve our physical mortal lives. Okay? We live in the spirit, not in our carnal flesh. Okay? And the things that you have heard me say among many witnesses, entrust these to faithful men who will be qualified to teach others as well. Join me in suffering like a good soldier. All right? Yes. All of his sheep, all of his servants suffer with him. Okay? A soldier refrains from entangling himself in civilian affairs. Okay? So we suffer. We're the martyrs. Okay? See, there are some of our people that joined Christianity in order to preserve their life. Okay, the Christianity that was being imposed upon us, all right, that was the Antichrist that was being imposed upon us. Okay, they went ahead and converted to the Christianity in order to preserve their physical lives. They did not want to die. They didn't want to be tortured. All right, so they turned in their family members. All right, they joined with the worst of the heathen against their own people. Okay, it's the same thing today. All right, this economic system that was established by force on indigenous land. Okay, you got many of my people that's comfortable and complacent, involved in the civilian affairs of earning money for a living. And many of them have turned their back against me. Okay, they've turned their back to me and they call me evil because I won't join in with them on the civilian affairs of earning money for a living. Okay? Instead, I'm choosing to suffer. I'm choosing the guillotine. Okay? I'm choosing the torturing. Okay? Because don't you think that is torture to not have your bare necessities? Don't you think it's a form of torture to not know how you're going to pay rent from month to month? Don't you know that it's torture to know that this is your ancestral land and that the worst of the heathen, your enemies, these foreigners who invaded your land, is ruling on top of you and demanding you to pay them in order to live upon your land? And the whole damn time, acting like you're the problem? You don't think that that's a form of torture? You don't think that that's oppressive? You don't think that that's tyranny? You don't think that that's a life of misery that we're being forced to live? A soldier refrains from entangling himself in civilian affairs in order to please the one who enlisted him. All right? So it's impossible to please the Most High without real faith. And real faith will be proven in our actions of choosing to suffer instead of choosing to participate in civilian affairs. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. I lean upon his spirit. and all the confirmation, the clarity, understanding, validation that he has given unto me. I don't have to trust in the wisdom of this world, nor in your false god of money. I put on the full armor of the true and living God so that I can make my stand against the devil's schemes. Yeah, I got the full armor of the true and living God. The helmet of salvation is my obedience to the eternal law of divine love and all things good. The breastplate of righteousness is my deeds, my actions, how I treat people. The shield of faith is my trust in the true and living God. The sword of the Spirit is the living word by way of the Spirit. Feet shodded in peace. The belt of truth. Yes, the belt of truth. That's the spirit of truth that comes to bring reproof. Well, you gotta love the reproof in order to have the belt of truth. And many of you hate reproof, so you don't have the belt of truth. You don't have the shield of faith because you're not trusting in eternal benevolence. You don't have the sword of the Spirit because you refuse to listen to the eternal living word by the way of the Spirit. You don't have the helmet of salvation because you're following the wisdom of this world. You don't have the breastplate of righteousness because you're following after the ways of the world and your actions are wicked. You have no love. You have no compassion. You have no kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity, purity, chastity. None of these things. Therefore, your feet not shodded in peace. You're in fear. Peace is the opposite of fear. For our struggle is not only against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, the principalities, authorities, and powers of this world, the darkness, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Okay? Oh my gosh. So you want to ignore us. There's two types of runners in this race. Okay? Most people are running this race to build a successful life for themselves in mortality. And the other, which is myself, is running this race while in the fleshly body, not to build a successful life for myself in this mortality, but to please the maker of my spirit, to fulfill my assigned spiritual mission. We're all in the fleshly mortal body, but the majority of people that are in the fleshly mortal body, they are concerned with building a successful life for themselves in the physicality, in this mortality. And because of that, they spend their lives pining after money because that's what's been established in order for you to build a successful life for yourself. That's your ambition. And because That's the majority of people's ambition and goal in life, regardless of the route that they take, they are automatically assuming that because I'm here to give the spiritual clarity and understanding, they want to sum that up as you here to teach the Bible. Well, we already have our pastors for that. Who ordained you to be a pastor? Like, and because of this position, and they know the pastors and how they have, handled the position which they assumed for themselves, all right, because they were not called by the true and living God, they're equating me as one of these charlatans, and or they're equating me as doing this, for money, which is like them charlatans. Okay? They never want to consider the fact that I was actually spiritually called to do this. But yet my life lines up to this. Because I never was like the majority who cared about earning money and building a successful life for myself upon the earth. I was always seeking why the hell this is happening. Why is this being required of me? I was one that had questions, not just accept the reality that I'm being presented. Okay? I'm sorry that you people think that that makes me better than you. All right? I don't have that type of mentality that I'm better than you. I'm here to help you. Why won't you look at it that way? Like, why is it so hard for you to look at it the way that it is, that I'm here to help you? Why do you just automatically assume that I think I'm better than you? I was just like you at one point. Well, not just like you, but I earned money just like you at one point, but I hated it. And everybody would tell you that they hate working their jobs, all right? But nevertheless, it 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 was worse on me because I knew I knew that I was supposed to be doing something different. Okay. Um, and so that's why it was different for me. Not because I'm better than anybody. It was merely because um, I was selected before I ever even came in mortality. Okay. Now I'm not trying to go too deep on taking you on all the records like that. Okay. I get other videos that go into that. But that's not setting myself up in authority over nobody, to have the knowledge and to know that I was pre-selected, preordained to do what I'm doing. Okay, my life is in the scriptures. Okay, that just is what it is, and you can't force me to take on your mentality and your heart condition simply because it's the mass consensus. All right. um, do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? Run in such a way as to take the prize. Everyone who competes in the games trains with strict discipline. They do it for a crown that is perishable. Now, that's those who are running this race in order to build a successful life for themselves, immortality, and they're saving their money upon the earth in savings accounts, safety deposit boxes, all right? But we do it for a crown that is imperishable, okay? That's only a few of us that are here in mortality, running the same race as you because we're all in the fleshly mortal body. Okay, so we're all running this race. Okay, but the majority of people, like I said, is running for it carnally. All right, you're seeking the honors, the clout, the status, and all of that of men. All right, and and you want comfortability for your flesh. All right, well, understand. I would like to be comfortable too in my flesh. I would like to have the things that I want and need. Okay, but I'm not gonna freaking pine after money in order to obtain these things because eternal benevolence did not create money. Eternal benevolence initially gave all of these things to us. All right, and it was stolen from us by the wicked. And now the wicked are holding on to the blessing bag of Lucifer. All right, so why the hell am I gonna join the rat race to try to get a piece of the blessing bag of Lucifer? Why would I want to earn the blessing bag of Lucifer? No, sir, no, ma'am. Okay, so I will just suffer. I suffer. All right, and this is to receive the crown that is imperishable. All right. Therefore, I do not run aimlessly. See, I told you that you are earning your money in vain. All right? I do not fight like I'm beating the air. Okay? No. I wage spiritual warfare. Okay? Spiritual warfare. All right? Not carnal warfare. I don't take up man made mortal weapons, but I slay many demons. Habakkuk 2:13. All right. This is all those of you who are following the worst of the heathen. Okay, because they have their judgment coming, and all of you who are following them, you're going to reap the same judgment. Okay? Is it not? Okay, hold on. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed and establishes a town by iniquity. Now you are ignoring how they set themselves on top of us, manifesting their destiny. Okay? You're ignoring that. All right? So they established all of this on bloodshed and by iniquity. You're ignoring that. Okay? Therefore, is it not indeed from eternal benevolence of hosts that the labor of the people only feeds the fire? Yes, it only feeds the fire. It only feeds the fire. Okay? See this? When you're doing this, it only feeds the fire. And then they raise the prices of they raise the cost of living. Rent is insane these days. Market rent is absolutely insane. Wanting damn near $1,000 per month to have a roof over your head. That's absolutely insane. There's people that are homeless working full-time jobs. This only feeds the fire. And the nations weary themselves in vain. You're wearying yourself in vain. All of this is in vain. But you know what? It is only in vain for you. Okay? It's in vain for you. But it's not in vain for eternal benevolence. Because eternal benevolence is going to use it for righteousness. He's going to use it for those who are willing to change their mentality and their heart condition and confess his name and begin to love one another as thyself. Converting from being of the world to being one of his. Okay? Cleaving unto his living witnesses, so that you can reap of the great blessings of eternal benevolence, understanding that you've been made to live in hell. Because that's what this is. Fighting over crumbs of that which was stolen to begin with. For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the true and living God, as the waters cover the sea. All right, Jeremiah 51:58. This is what the eternal benevolence of hosts says. Babylon's thick walls will be leveled, and her high gates consumed by fire. So the labor of the people will be for nothing. Your money is not going to save you. The nations exhaust themselves to fuel the flames. Are you not exhausting yourself earning money for a living? And you get all kinds of demons permeating within your heart condition and your mentality? Refusing to love one another as thyself? Why spend money on that which is not bread, and your labor on that which does not satisfy? How is earning your money for a living satisfying your spirit or your soul? Listen carefully to me. Eat what is good, and your soul will delight in the riches of foods. Okay? I want to feed my soul. I want to feed my spirit. All right? That's what I sought for. And I was filled. Okay? I have no regrets. I got no regrets whatsoever. All right? I love what I've been given. I've been given what my heart desired. And that's clarity and understanding to this false ass reality that I have been made to live in. Okay? I have seen all the things that are done under the sun, and have found them all to be futile, a pursuit of the wind. All of this is futile and a pursuit of the wind. All right? To you, okay? All of you who are participating in this. Because you can't take any of it with you when you leave from here. And all of your deeds in which you've done to acquire all of your money and all of your materialistic things is being recorded. Your heart condition, your mentality, all of these things is being recorded. You like, how do you think you're gonna hide these things from the maker of your spirit, the maker of infinite consciousness? Yet when I considered all the works that my hands had accomplished and what I had toiled to achieve, I found everything to be futile, a pursuit of the wind. There was nothing to be gained under the sun, especially when you are lacking the fruits of the Spirit, of divine love, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity, purity, chastity, these righteous fruits of the Spirit, but you got all your money and materialistic things. This is coming. They will not labor in vain or bear children doomed to disaster, for they will be a people blessed by eternal benevolence and all their descendants with them. All right. See, you built your city off of our blood. All right, you built your city, you built your kingdom, you built your heaven, or you forced us to build it for you by our blood, sweat, and tears. See, all that you've been working for and building up upon the earth is worthless, a work to be mocked. In the time of your punishment, all right, you will all perish. Okay, all of you who refuse to repent. See, they are all a delusion. Their works amount to nothing. Their images are as empty as the wind. All right? Your money is the image of the beast. Okay? If anyone builds on this foundation using money, all right, precious stones and all of these things, his workmanship will be evident because the day will bring it to light. All right? So, all of you who are wealthy, who are prosperous, and all of these things, we see you for who you are. We know who your God is by all of this that you have. Okay, you built a successful life for yourself. Woohoo! You are a servant of the devil. Okay? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right. You have worked for Lucifer. All right, and he rewarded you with all of your abundant materialistic things and your money. Okay, it will be revealed with fire. All right, now during this fire, this is a spiritual fire. Okay, because it's the living word that flow by way of the spirit. All right, and the fire will prove the quality of each man's work. All right, so now you got all of these people that are prosperous. Let me show you. You got all of these people who are prosperous. All right, yep, they got all of their prosperity. All right, now we're speaking the eternal living word by way of the spirit. All right, and we like as we speak. All right, the quality of each man's work is being revealed. Okay, if what he has built survives, he will receive a reward. Now, the only one of you that will survive is those of you that can receive this living word by the way of the spirit, which is the fire. All right, is that fire? Is that living? The living word is like a fire. All right, Jeremiah 23:29. Is not my word like fire? See, only the lying prophets don't speak the eternal living word. They speak the words of mortal men. And that don't burn up anything. Okay? That's the sweet nothings that you go to your churches, your buildings made with human hands. You go there because they don't speak the eternal living word by way of the Spirit. Okay? Is not my word like fire, declares eternal benevolence, and like a hammer that smashes a rock? Yeah, yes. Therefore, behold, declares eternal benevolence, I am against the prophets who steal from one another's words. They attributed it to me. They attribute falsehoods unto him. Okay, but his true servants speak the eternal living word by way of the Spirit, and it is that fire. Okay, for the word of God is living and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It pierces even to the dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and intentions of the heart. Okay? So my word that proceeds from my mouth will not return to me empty, but it will accomplish what I please, and it will prosper where I send it. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High God. Man shall not live on bread alone. Okay? Most people are complacent with merely sustaining their fleshly mortal body. All right? Living on bread alone. And screw the spirit. All right? They think they don't need any kind of spiritual clarity and or understanding. They don't have to appreciate those of us who were actually seated here to freely give the spiritual clarity and understanding. But he's telling you, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of the true and living God. All right? And those of us that are his servants, we speak the true living word by way of the Spirit. Okay? The Spirit gives life. The flesh profits nothing. Okay? The words I have spoken to you are spirit, meaning they are life. Okay? It's not going to ever change, no matter what the hell you want to believe. I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of the true and living God for real salvation to anyone who obeys it. Okay? First to the Israelite, and then to the Greek and or any other individual people out of all nations who take heed to the pure gospel and are obedient, applying it to their life and living it. Okay, it's not about vain lip service. It ain't about what you psych yourself out to believe. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth, anything that's against morals. Get rid of it, and every expression of evil, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save your souls. Okay, humbly accept the eternal living word planted within you. Okay, you must unsear your conscience so that you can hear eternal benevolence. Okay, the eternal living word is embedded within your conscience. It is inscribed upon your spirit. It is written upon your heart. Okay, and once you do that, that can save your soul. Okay. Okay, and we continually thank eternal benevolence, because when you received the word of God that you heard from us, you accepted it not as the word of men, but as it truly is. All right? The eternal living word of the Most High God, which is also now at work in you who obey it. Okay? So we don't take things with a carnal perception, with the precepts of men and all of these things. No, we are spirit led. Let my teaching fall like rain, and my speech settle like dew, like gentle rain on new grass, like showers on tender plants. All right? Only the meek and the tender-hearted are able to receive his teachings. Okay? But all of you hard-hearted people that's all about the carnal flesh, you hate these teachings of love your neighbor as thyself. And all of these people that got all their prosperity puffed up in their pride and arrogance like they're better than me. You know, you want to project your false reality on me and call me arrogant because of the way I speak, not realizing that it's the authority by way of the Spirit. All right? You're not familiar with the Spirit of truth. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does not act on them is like a foolish man who builds his house on sand. Okay? All of you who refuse to take heed, you done built your house on sand. Okay? It don't matter how prosperous you are. It don't matter how physically prosperous you are. Doesn't matter how much money you have, how much materialistic things you have. Don't matter your status, your clout, your honors of men. All of that, you done built your house on sand. Okay? And the rain fell, and the torrents raged, and the winds blew, and beat against that house, and it fell. And great was its collapse. Alright, that's what's coming for all you arrogant ass people with all your money and materialistic things. Okay? Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast and immovable. Always excel in the work of the Lord. Okay? The good shepherd, the one who called me. Alright? I am his sheep. I hear his voice and I follow. All right? Because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. All right? I know that going out there filling out job applications, earning money for a living is in vain. But what I'm doing, flowing by way of the Spirit, while I suffer in the physical, is not going to be in vain. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a roar. That's going to come way later. The elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and its works will be laid bare. That's coming later, after we get our land back. After we're happy and dwelling in our lands. Okay? It's only when the wicked get in their mind that they gonna come try to colonize again that all hell gonna break loose upon them. All right, because they gonna get tired of suffering in their desolate land while we're all prosperous and blessed upon these lands. Okay. So after a while, they're gonna rise up and they'll be like, let's just go over there and take what we want. And that's when all hell gonna break loose upon them. Okay. When the ships is going to arrive and we're going to be taken to a safe location while the wicked is dealt with. All right? For it has been granted unto you on behalf of Christ not only to obey him, but also to suffer for him. Yes. All right, since you are encountering the same struggle you saw I had and now hear that I still have. All right, all of his servants must suffer with him. Okay? All his real servants suffer. Okay? It ain't about vain lip service. All you people who earn your money for a living, but yet you confessing the promised anointed one, you professing to be his servants. How are you his servants? You are saving yourself. He told you not to do that. He told you, my sheep hear my voice and they follow. Okay? So if you are truly a servant of the real Messiah, okay, then you will be obedient to what he told you to do. All right, you should not be concerned with saving your physical life at the expense of others. And if you are doing it, you best be making damn sure you're looking out for his little ones who are fully being obedient with our full heart, mind, and soul. You definitely don't want to be evil and withhold from us. You want to be making sure that we have all of our wants and needs with your abundance. That is how you know that you are one of his servants. Because you're either his servant in suffering or you're his servant in helping to relieve our suffering. One or the other. If you are not doing one of those two things, then you are not of the true and living God. Okay? Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial that has come upon you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice that you share in the sufferings of the Messiah, so that you may be overjoyed at the revelation of his glory. Okay? So that you may be overjoyed at the revelation of his glory. Don't you realize that someone that's been going through as much long suffering as I've been going through, to have this financial mountain removed out of my way would be such a glorious revelation of his glory. Don't you realize that? Like, that will esteem eternal benevolence, not Lucifer, not selfishness and greed, not capitalism. How would that be glorifying and upholding capitalism? How would someone being compassionate unto his servant upholding selfishness, greed, capitalism? It's not. That will be glorifying eternal benevolence. But you want to claim that I'm being selfish, right? You want to claim that I'm the one that's doing this for selfishness and greed. It don't work that way, people. Because those who have a selfish and greedy heart condition would not suffer without that which their hearts are after, that which their mentality is after. Okay? So you can say it all the hell you want. You can imply it, you can slander, you can throw that accusation upon me all you want. But my long suffering proves you to be a liar. So, I rejoice that I share in the sufferings of the promised anointed one. Because when I am delivered, I will be overjoyed at the revelation of his glory. Yes, I live to esteem eternal benevolence, not the God of money. All of this. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, all right, everybody is seeing that I'm not earning money for a living, and they're also witnessing how I'm suffering. They're witnessing it. I'm testifying of it. Okay? My life is on the channel. Okay? And on social media, on Facebook. All right? Let us throw off every encumbrance and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with endurance the race set out for us. Meaning, I gotta endure. I gotta endure not earning money for a living. No matter how tightly I'm squeezed to pay my enemies this money. Let us fix our eyes on the promised anointed one, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, endured scorning and shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of eternal benevolence. Okay? Consider him who endured such hostility from sinners. Am I not enduring such hostility from you hateful-hearted people who refuse to show me any kind of compassion, kindness, mercy, and or empathy? Are you not sinners when you have no compassion within your heart condition for someone who is compassionate? But I consider the one who endured this so many times, when I want to quit and I throw tantrums, I throw fits, and, it comes to mind what he endured. Okay? That he endured this from sinners, and he did not call upon 10,000 angels to put a stop to it. Therefore, I am not going to go out there and fill out job applications and sell myself for the reward of money. Okay? So I will not grow weary and lose heart. I will continue to fix my eyes upon the promised anointed one and know that I will be delivered by eternal benevolence. Fight the good fight of the faith. Take hold of the eternal life to which you were called when you made the good confession before many witnesses. I told you I'm a living witness. I told you, I've been giving you this prophecy that he woke up his people within the land of our captivity. Now we're proving it by our actions. For though we live in the flesh, we do not wage war according to the flesh. I don't take up man-made mortal weapons. The weapons of our warfare are not the weapons of the flesh. So I don't take up man-made mortal weapons. I don't earn money for a living. So I don't have any money. Therefore, I don't have any physical might in my hands. But I do have this sword of the Spirit. I do have my free agency to be obedient to eternal benevolence. Instead, we have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every presumption to set up against the knowledge of the true and living God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to the promised anointed one. And if we are the children, then we are heirs, heirs of the true and living God, co-heirs with the promised anointed one, the ascended master, if indeed we suffer with him, so that we may also be glorified with him. Why are you people trying like hell to not suffer? You doing everything you can in your might to not suffer. But all throughout the scriptures, he's telling you that his true servants suffer with him. And the few of us who are suffering with him, you refuse to look at us as his true servants. Instead, you make yourselves adversaries against us, and you increase our suffering. While at the very same time, you got his name in your mouth, confessing him. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you encounter trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Allow perseverance to finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. You will be hated by everyone because of my holy name, righteousness, loving kindness, everything benevolent. But the one who perseveres to the end will be saved. I've been experiencing all of your hateful actions. This be sober minded and alert is to be clear minded, clear headed. All right? Where you're not out of your mind. You are still able to have the eternal law in mind at all times, to where your actions line up with the eternal law, not going contrary. All right? Because understand, your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. So if you're outside of your mind, unable to control your actions, then the adversary will have you doing things that you may not otherwise have done. And he can have his way with you. Resist him, standing firm in your faith and in the knowledge that your brothers throughout the world are undergoing the same kinds of sufferings. Okay? So that none of you will be shaken by these trials, for you know that we are destined for this. Indeed, when we were with you, we kept warning you that we would suffer persecution, and as you know, it has come to pass. Do not fear what you are about to suffer. Behold, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison to test you, and you will suffer tribulation for 10 days. Be faithful even unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. You have to earn the crown of life. Many of you are earning the temporary crown. This is why they write people's name on the ground on a star in Hollywood Boulevard or whatever, wherever the hell the Hall of Stars are, or whatever the heck they have. All of this glorification and honors of mortal men. It's temporary. That's a temporary crown. I want the real deal. What time is it? Let's see. Oh man, I'm at 1 hour and 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, bro. There's so much to get into here. Alright, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest. You got a whole bunch of people that's working for money, but it's very few who are his true servants working in the vineyard. And the few of us who are doing it are having to go through great long suffering, experiencing the hateful hearts of the people. I don't even have any more freaking tubes. I'm about to use my last tube to make me a smoke, and then I have to roll, and I don't have many papers. You know, I have given you this living word while I smoke butts. I have given you this living word when I didn't have no herb whatsoever, when I didn't have anything. I ain't let my own suffering stop me from freely giving unto you that which you're needing for your salvation. But you keep thumbing your nose up at it, acting like you know better. Will not the true and living God bring about justice for his elect who cry out to him day and night? Do you seriously think he's going to delay in helping us? I'm telling you, he's going to promptly carry out justice on our behalf. All right? And we went on this tangent about the faith, okay? And how we are to be obedient. We can't please him without real faith. And you ain't going to suffer unless you have real faith that he is going to deliver you. Okay? This is why People are doing everything that they can to not suffer because they don't truly depend and or trust in eternal benevolence. All right, because they're not being obedient to eternal benevolence. Therefore, they are compelled to obey mortal men. Okay, and put their trust and faith in the image of the beast, which is money. What then shall we say in response to these things? If the true and living God is for us, who can be against us? Who really can be against us when it's time for our deliverance? Be on the alert. Stand firm in the faith. Be men of courage. Be men of courage. Be strong. Okay? Yeah. I'm strong in spirit. I'm of courage. I am not afraid. Because I know how to live my life. I know who I serve. And I know who set themselves up on top of all humanity and all creation. I know who took the reins of the earth in great wickedness. Okay? I know why it was allowed. And I know that their time frame has ended. Okay? Alright. Done with that. Now, this started out with, who's going to rise up for me against the evildoers? That's those of us who are being obedient and have the faith that that eternal benevolence is going to deliver us. All right? And that the wicked is going to reap their just deserts. All right? We're being obedient to our spiritual mission. Okay? Let's see here. Yeah. Alright. I'm done with that. Alright, now. God's help to Israel. Alright? I brought you from the ends of the earth and called you from its furthest corners. I said, you are my servant. I have chosen, not rejected you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will surely help you. I will uphold you with my right hand of righteousness. Okay? Behold, behold, all who rage against you will be ashamed and disgraced. Those who contend with you will be reduced to nothing and will perish. So all of you that are making yourselves my adversary by scorning me, mocking me, ridiculing me, slandering me, shutting up your bowels of compassion unto me, wishing that I am thrown out on the street, wishing that you can increase my long suffering, all of you are about to be reduced to nothing. All of you is gonna bring about misery and suffering upon yourselves. Because that's what you're sowing. I'm here out of benevolence. I'm here telling you to love one another as thyself. But you're like, kill it, get rid of it. We don't want to hear it. Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the true and living God is with you wherever you go. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified of them. For it is eternal benevolence, your God, who goes with you, and he will never leave you nor forsake you. I can do all things in the promised anointed one who gives me strength. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for I know that he is with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. The validation, the clarity, and the understanding of the confirmations. It all comforts me. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have. For the true and living God has said, neither will I leave you. Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you. So we say with confidence, the true, eternal, living, ascended master is my helper, along with eternal benevolence, the ever presence of benevolence. So therefore I will not be afraid. What can a man do to me but cause me to suffer in the physical? But once I leave this physical, or once eternal benevolence delivers me in the physical, all of that goes out the window and is replaced with joy. And all who afflicted misery and suffering upon me is going to reap exactly what they have been sowing. For the true and living God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. That self-control is free agency. We're able to choose for ourselves how we act. Our actions, whether we're going to emulate benevolence or malevolence. Of David, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? You think that I fear these devils who set themselves up in authority over me upon my ancestral land, demanding money from me? Eternal benevolence is the stronghold of my life. So whom shall I really dread? John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Do not be afraid. Okay, I don't have the carnal peace and security that the world has by earning their money and saving it upon the earth to know how they're going to sustain their flesh. I don't got that kind of peace. The type of peace I have is spiritual peace. To know that no matter what it looks like in my physical mortal life, that the ever presence of benevolence loves me and desires to deliver me, will deliver me. Okay? And I'm going to prove to you that eternal benevolence is zealous to deliver his people. Especially considering this whole time frame that evil has been allotted to run rampant. My power is perfected in weakness. He shows his might through the weak. Okay? I've been weakened in this world. I have no physical might in my hands. I have no money. No materialistic things. Okay? I'm considered the scum of the earth. Okay? Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly in my weaknesses. Okay? Yeah, I boast that I don't love money. Money ain't my God. Okay? In this world, that's a weakness. Because those who don't have money suffer. Okay? So that the power of Christ may rest on me. All right? Yes. That is why, for the sake of the promised anointed one, I delight in weaknesses, okay? And in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. He ain't using those who have all the money and materialistic things. The only way that you would know eternal benevolence is utilizing them is when they take their place as a righteous am. See, it ain't about them establishing charity organizations for just anybody. Oh no. No, 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 no. That's been a smoke screen. There's a whole bunch of charity organizations pretending to work for the true and living God. All right? And it's not like the true and living God ain't using them at all. Yeah. They're being used a little bit, but they're not the ones who are actually the servants of the true and living God. Because they are still not really obeying the true and living God, though they are helping some of us, okay? They're helping some of us to an extent, all right? But it is not like what he called us to do, okay? His vessels of mercy, all right? His tender-hearted vessels of mercy. What right now, they are taking our place. They have assumed the authority, okay? The Catholic Church and all your religions, all right, they've been established by the abominable church. So, like I said, it's not like eternal benevolence cannot utilize the good that they do. Okay, this is how Satan masquerades as an angel of light. Because he doesn't do anything good. Okay? It's eternal benevolence that's doing this good. All right? But what all that he means for evil, eternal benevolence turns good. All right? So, what happened to us, the indigenous people who are actually the true holy people, being stamped out and all of these things and replaced by religions, all of these charitable organizations that people donate to, okay? You're donating to these people who set themselves in authority. But you refuse to show any kind of compassion, kindness, mercy, and or empathy unto his true servants, who are here long-suffering, giving you the eternal living word by the way of the Spirit. See, prime example is when I go to this St. Mary's for help with toiletries and things like this. They're peddling their satanic ass doctrine of blood sacrifice. All right, they got idolatry all over the place. White Jesus is all over the place. All right, they think that they are the servants of the true and living God, and they are not. Okay, no, they're not. But the true and living God can use the good that they are doing, trying to portray themselves as benevolent. He's using that for righteousness. Okay? That don't make them the servants of the true and living God. The Lord your God is among you. He is mighty to save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. See, these people, they pretend like they love us. All right? But they they don't really love us in their heart. Okay? All they're doing is for clout of men. Okay? They're only doing it for clout of men. All right? They're not doing it to please eternal benevolence. They're doing it thinking that they are the servants of benevolence, but they've never humbled themselves to eternal benevolence. Because if they did, they would not be in them churches made with human hands. They would not be boasting against the natural branches. They would not be trying to continuously usurping the true servants of eternal benevolence. They would step down. Okay? The Lord is on my side. I will not be afraid. What can a man do to me? For I, the Lord your God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Behold, the true and living God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For eternal benevolence is my strength and my song, and he also is become my salvation. Okay? Yes, the true and living God. This here. But now, thus saith eternal benevolence that created thee, O Jacob. Jacob. Everybody upon the face of this earth ain't Jacob. Okay? And he that formed thee, O Israel. Everybody upon the face of this earth is not Israel, Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Okay? Fear not. He's talking to us, his covenant people. For I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. We are his beloved covenant people, whom you hate. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publishes peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publishes salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy God reigneth. We were born into a world where money is reigning. But our God is about to reign. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increases us in strength. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and they shall be destroyed, because they will destroy themselves. All right? He shall allow them to be destroyed. All right? By malevolent forces. The Lord will give strength unto his people. He will bless his people with peace. I have spiritual peace. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but eternal benevolence upholdeth the righteous. As for me, thou upholdest me in mine integrity, and settest me before thy face forever. Only the righteous can be in the presence of eternal benevolence. The wicked fear the light of benevolence. They shun the light of benevolence, so they refuse to be in his presence. Therefore, they have to trust in the God of money. They have to trust in mortal men. They have to trust in the system in which we were all born in. But my soul followeth hard after the true and living God, knowing that his right hand upholdeth me. The king's strength also loveth just judgment. Thou dost establish equity. All right? He hates imbalance. Okay? Right now, this world is extremely imbalanced with the fully, like these people that are utterly wealthy. Okay? But there's people who are living in utter poverty. This is abominable. Okay? Fairness, justice. All right?
Equity.
The quality of being fair and impartial. We were born into a Eurocentric system that was partial to the Indo-Europeans. They were given handouts. They were given federal grants. They were given free land. All of these things. The laws were established against us, but for them, to where they were able to flourish with an economic floor, while we were systematically impoverished. So this whole system was built on the opposite of this. Okay? The opposite of equity. Let's look for the opposite. Why don't they have the opposite here? Okay, opposite. Imbalance, okay? Because that's the world that we were born in. We were born into an imbalanced world, okay? Where all the, the richest people upon the face of the earth are all the pale-skinned Europeans. Okay? Alright. So all this justice, fair-minded, okay, open-mindedness, okay, even-handedness, fairness, alright. So, but we were born into a world of prejudice, bias, favoritism, alright, subjectivity, because we are prisoners of war. All right, this is the life we have been forced to live. All right. Antonyms. Okay, so we were forced to live in a world full of injustice, inequity, prejudice, being wronged. Okay, unfairness. All right, raw deal. Okay, wrongdoing, offense, harm. Okay, corruption, all right, one-sidedness, okay? This is how so-called black people have been treated in this reality, in this Eurocentric system that was established in great wickedness, all right? The Father hates injustice, okay? He hates injustice, all right? The King's strength also loveth judgment. Okay? Thou does establish equity. Alright? He's going to establish his equity because we are the black horse, which brings balance. Okay? Thou executest judgment and righteousness in Jacob. Okay? In Jacob. Alright? We are the people. Okay? We are the ones that have received his oracles. So we are the ones that are instructed to speak the eternal living word by the way of the Spirit. And we are the ones whom the nations ought to listen. Okay? You ought to listen to us. All right? You ought to stop listening to those who set themselves up in authority over all humanity and all creation. All right? Now, When we come back, I'm going to continue because we're at 2 hours now, an hour and 59 minutes. All right. I'm going to try to finish this up as quickly as possible because, bro, I got to upload all of this. Okay. And I got a physical video that I'm going to upload to you, to the channel before I upload this one. All right. And so we're going to have 3 videos all together coming to you today because I don't think I'm going to have time to do any more than just one more video, okay? And I got, I'll talk about it later. All right, I got somebody called me to ask a favor of me, so I'll go into more detail about that later. Okay, so shalom.